Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me for this gentle yoga class. For today's practice, you will need to have a belt or something that you can use for stretching, a bathrobe tie, a scarf, anything like that. We'll just loop it around the bottom of the foot. Okay, so we'll be using that in the beginning of practice. Please also have a blanket or a cushion, a pillow. I know some of you guys have these great little Zafuko cushions. Those will work as well. Anything like that that we can use. We'll do a reclined pose later where we'll be laying down on top of whatever cushion you have. Okay. So if you don't have those things already, go ahead and grab them. If you're watching this recording, you can always pause the video and go and get that. All right. I would like you to start reclined on your back in a posture that we call constructive rest. Okay. So constructive rest looks like this. I'll lie down on my back. I'm going to widen the feet out so my feet are about as wide as my mat. And then turn the toes in slightly so the knees just kind of tent together. They don't have to touch, but the knees are just kind of hanging together toward each other. And then place your hands, just allow them to rest on the low belly. Okay, constructive rest with hands on the low belly. I'll give you another moment to settle in there. Now I'm going to come back up to sit, but you guys stay in constructive rest, please. And as you allow yourself to settle in, please take a full deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out. But take another full deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. If it's comfortable for you, allow your eyes to softly close. And as the eyes close, your awareness turns in. So take this opportunity to really tune in to what's going on in your body. Tune into any sensations you feel, perhaps physically. Maybe there's tension, tightness, or holding somewhere. Or maybe what you notice is emotional holding or mental, right? Maybe there's remnants from leftover interactions or conversations that you've had recently. And all of these things that you're discovering, no judgment from whatever you discover, just getting an idea of your starting point today. And now please let your awareness shift to your breath. Just take a moment to notice the breath as it moves in and out with ease. Welcome in the sensation of the breath. And as you breathe, notice what you're feeling through the soles of your feet, the back of the body, even through the belly and the heart. Use this awareness and that of your breath to anchor yourself here. Now focus on what you'd like to create for yourself. Whether it's a tangible goal or just simply space to dream. Our practice today is all about connecting with the second chakra, Svadhisthana, which is kind of the center of our creativity flow. So connect with what it is that you'd like to create in your life. Continuing to breathe deeply. Allow your intention to infuse your breath. Now, the color orange is associated with the second chakra, and it represents fascination, happiness, creativity, attraction, success, and flow. The second chakra is located right underneath your fingers, your hands, right in the space of the low belly. So you might visualize the color orange, the hue of orange below your navel, kind of that space between the navel and the pubic bone. And as you connect to that color, to that flow, also connect to all that's rooted there. Oftentimes, our own limiting stories, the stories that we tell ourselves in our head, can prevent us from moving forward or manifesting or tapping into our creativity. So as you continue to breathe here, can you loosen your grip on those blocks by breathing into them? Release one with each exhalation. And today we're going to light that creative spark by doing something physical, by getting into our body. And for today, I offer a mantra. You might use this mantra along with your intention and awareness of the breath to keep you present today during our practice. And that mantra is, I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. I invite you as we move through the rest of our practice, when you get distracted, can you, in your mind's eye, come back to this space of the second chakra, Svadhisthana, right here in the low belly? Tune into the color orange, maybe tune into your intention, or tune into the mantra that I've just offered. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. And on your next inhalation, you can hug those knees in towards your chest. And as the knees come into the chest, hands either on the knees or behind the knees, let's take the hips in a circle. The hips, the knees, take them in a circle. So you're just kind of rolling around the sacrum, the low back. It's getting the whole circumference just rolling. And then make sure you go both directions. So 2 or 3 times circling the hips, circling the knees. Just tuning in again to that area of the second chakra. And then please release your feet all the way down to the floor and reach out for your belt or whatever you're using for stretching. And we'll take Supta Padangusthasana A, B, and C, which is basically extended hand to big toe. So we're going to take that belt, loop it around the bottom of your right foot, and take your right foot and reach it up to the ceiling. Right leg goes up, pushing the foot into the belt and pulling on the belt just enough so that the right hip continues to stay grounded. And we're feeling some stretch, some opening in the back of the right leg. Now, yogi's choice, you could either keep this left foot here on the floor or extend the left leg out. If you're choosing to extend the left leg out, do be sure that you keep the left leg active. So we're flexing the foot, the back of the thigh is pressing down, the heel stays grounded. Those things will help keep your pelvis and your hips balanced while we stretch here. Let's take 2 more breaths here, just inviting in openness and space in the back of the right leg. Now, please take both ends of the belt into the right hand. The left hand, either bring it to the top of the thigh or to the hip. And on an exhale, start to drop your right leg out to the right to any degree. Now, remember, your left leg might be extended or you might have that foot on the floor. Whichever you've chosen on the left side, be sure to continue activating the left leg so that we stay balanced and we're not tipping completely over onto our side. Couple more nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. On an inhale, hoist that leg all the way back up. And now switch hands on the belt. So now the left hand is going to go to the belt and you're reaching up toward the foot, always ensuring that your shoulders are softened down, right? We don't want to build up tension in the shoulders. Reestablish the length in the leg, and then begin to take the right leg across the midline of the body to the left. So you can go a little or a lot. If you're just starting with a little bit, you'll probably feel this stretch a little bit lower on the leg, maybe the ankle, the Achilles, the back of the knee. As you continue to drop the leg over more and more and more, you'll feel that stretch move up to the outer hip and thigh, up through the IT band, that connective tissue that runs the whole outer edge of the leg. Just breathing into the space, making space with the breath. And let's inhale, bring the right leg all the way back up. If the left leg is extended, bring the foot to the floor and then unloop the belt from around the foot and just pause for a moment with both feet back on the floor and just tune in and notice. Maybe as you get better and better at tuning into the sensations in the body, you might already feel a difference left to right. Maybe the foot, the knee, the hip. And if you're not sensing that yet, don't worry, it'll come in time. Let's take the stretch on the opposite side. So loop the belt around the left foot now. The left leg will go up to the ceiling. And same thing, reaching the hands up toward the foot, but soften the shoulders down so we're not building tension in the shoulders. Flexing the foot, pressing the foot up into the belt, and just enough tension pulling back on the belt so the left hip stays grounded. And then yogi's choice, you decide whether you stay right here with the right foot on the floor or extend the right leg out. Either way, right side of the body stays active somewhat to keep balanced. Couple breaths more here. And let's shift both ends of the belt into the left hand. Right hand either on top of the thigh or on the hip. And then begin to take the left leg out to the left. Maybe you're continuing to stay tuned into the breath here, into sensation. What about your intention or our mantra? I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. Let's inhale, bring the leg back up, switch hands. So now right hand grabs the belts and then begin to drop the leg across the midline of the body. A little bit, a lot, you decide. I like to start with a little bit and then just slowly drop it over and watch and feel that sensation as it moves up the leg. Staying tuned in all the while. And let's inhale, bring the leg all the way back up. Releasing the belt, both feet come back to the floor once more. You can set the belt off to the side. We are done with that for the day. Arms come alongside the body, maybe even coming back into that constructive rest with the knees tenting together. Just pausing again for a moment. Let's walk the feet a little bit closer together. So the feet feel to you a little bit more like we're in Tadasana, mountain pose, right? So the feet are hips distance, toes are all facing the same direction, knees pointing up toward the ceiling. Let's bring the hands back to the low belly as we started in our opening. And we'll do some pelvic tilts here just to really warm up the muscles in that lower abdominal area. So as you take an inhale, so this is kind of like a little baby cat and cow. Right? As you inhale, you're going to press the tailbone down, feel the low back lift off of the floor as we arch a bit. And then as you exhale, the navel draws back. We're almost tucking the tailbone and pressing the sacrum and the low back against the mat. Good. Inhale, tilt up. So the tailbone presses down, the low back lifts away. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone and press the low back down. Do a few more of those on your own. Inhale and exhale. It's just a little tiny movement, but very effective at warming up the lower abdominals and stimulating, starting some blood flow into the area of the second chakra. So you might, while we do this, visualize in the mind's eye, maybe the color orange. Maybe you see a spinning wheel of orange light in this low belly area. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. Take one more. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. And then please find a neutral spine. So the back's neither arched nor rounded. Arms will release out to your sides. Now walk your feet back out wide again, so they're as wide as your mat. And let's do some windshield wipers. So let both knees drop to the right. Inhale, bring the knees up. As you exhale, both knees drop to the left. And then come back up. And just keep dropping side to side. Don't need to over effort at this point. Just nice gentle movements. And as you're dropping the legs side to side, you might also add in a turn of the head. So as the knees drop to the left, maybe you turn your head to look to the right. And as the knees drop to the right, maybe you turn your head to look to the left. Just warming up all of the bigger areas of the body, right? The hips, shoulders, the neck, the spine. And the next time the knees come up to center, we'll stay there. And let's bring the knees in, hug them into the chest. Squeezing the knees in. Now let the knees move wide apart. And we'll take happy baby pose. So knees move wide apart. Hands are going to reach in between the thighs and either catch the ankles, right? You might just stay here, allowing the feet to drift together. Or if you're into full happy baby, flex the feet, take soles of the feet up toward the ceiling, either still holding ankles You could come to backs of the thighs or even reach up to the outer edges of the feet. And we'll stay here for about 5 breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath, please. And then release the feet all the way down. Please roll to one side or the other. And we'll bring ourselves all the way up to sit. So we will be next doing Matsyasana or fish pose, reclined on our back. So you can take whatever cushion, pillow, blanket that you have and place it. So I'll give you some options. You can place it so it's lengthwise to the spine. So I'll show you what this will look like. You'll sit on the floor in front of it and lie back so the spine is supported, right? Ideally, we're trying to open up the chest and the heart here. Depending on your body, you might prefer to take the support crosswise and then have that support rest like shoulder blades. So it's going to be below the shoulders, bottom of the shoulder blades. So again, I'm supporting to open the chest. If you're not using a blanket, the Zafuko works in the same variation, either lengthwise to the spine or supported along the spine. So arms by your sides, turn the palms up and have your legs extended. Of course, if you prefer, there is always the option of taking the legs in bound angle variation. So bottoms of the feet together, let the knees open wide. Okay, yogi's choice. We'll stay here for a little bit, a few breaths here. So this particular posture stimulates the creative waters of the sacral chakra and also balances the heart chakra. Because of the shape, so we're balancing the sacral chakra, opening the heart chakra, and also opening the throat chakra. Throat chakra is kind of where we can actualize what we conceive. So let's stay here for 5 more breaths, tuning into the breath. Or can you come back to our mantra? I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. One more full breath here. And then we'll bend the knees. Roll to one side or the other to roll off of your support. Bring that out, set it off to the side. And then please come over onto hands and knees. So as we come onto hands and knees, let's continue our warm up by taking some cat and cows. So as you place the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, just on your own, if you like, take some cat and cow. So cow pose is tailbone tilting, back arching, and opening the heart. And then the exhale is cat pose, pushing the floor away and rounding the spine. So this is just like those pelvic tilts we did on the floor, but with a little more motion now, a little more movement. As we're moving through cat and cow, originate the movement in the tailbone. So the tailbone is the first to move and the head is the last. Please take 2 more breaths this way. Inhaling to arch the spine, open the chest, the heart, the throat, and exhaling to round the spine. And now coming to neutral spine, so the back's neither arched nor rounded. And let's take the hands, now listening to your own body, can you take the hands and turn the fingers out? And just going little bits at a time, some of you may be able to turn the hands all the way back around. So really opening the forearms, the backs of I guess it's the back of the forearm or the top of the forearm, the underside, right? The forearm. And as well, opening the throat chakra, stimulating our freedom of expression. Take one more breath here. Remember, your fingers didn't have to turn all the way around like mine did, and then slowly bring them back around so they face forward. We'll take a kneeling lunge now. Depending on how your yoga space is set up, you may like to, if you have a blanket, bring that blanket underneath the knees. So we'll start with the right knee back and the left knee forward for Anjaneyasana. And hands are on either side of the front foot. If you have yoga blocks and that's your preference, you could have yoga blocks here on either side of the foot as well. So just allowing the hips to drop forward. So we're feeling some stretch in the front of your back hip, the back thigh, okay? Be mindful of the front knee, that you've walked the foot forward far enough so that the knee is not going beyond the toes, all right? Let's curl the back toe under, lengthen the spine, engage the abdominals. Now push into the back toes, and can you lift that back knee? This is coming into a really long lunge. And let's lower that back knee back down, returning to Anjaneyasana. And now shift your hips back, lengthen the leg out in front of you. So we're folding over the front leg. Let's do that again. Inhale, shift forward, bend the knee, look forward. So long spine, back toes are curled under, push into the toes and lift the knee. And then lengthen, lower the knee back down, lengthen the front leg out as you fold over. Let's take that one more time. Bend the front knee, look forward, lengthen the spine, back toes are curled under, push into the back toes, lift that back knee. And then lower the back knee down, shift the hips back, lengthen the leg out. Good, bend the knee. Let's switch sides. So the left leg comes back and then bring the right one forward. Make adjustments from here as necessary for your body, for your space. Adjusting so that the right knee now is not going beyond the ankle. And we're feeling some stretch in the front of the back hip, the back leg. So 3 times we're going to move through that little mini sequence. So curl the back toes under. Let's start here. Inhale. As you exhale, push into the back toes, lift the back knee. Nice long, long lunge. And then lower the back knee down and shift the hips back, lengthening the right leg out in front of you. Inhale, shift forward, lengthen the spine, look up, lift the back knee. Long, long lunge. Real strong, powerful legs, lower the back knee. Shift the hips back, lengthen the leg out in front. Shift forward. This is 3rd time through. Lengthen, lift the back knee. And then lower the back knee and lengthen the leg out. shift forward. Take the right leg, send it back, and come into child's pose. Just pause for a moment. Tune back into your breath. Maybe remind yourself of your mantra, your intention. Please return to all fours. Right foot, or excuse me, left foot forward, right foot back, right knee back. Curl the back toe under. So we're going to get a little more active this time with the legs, draw in a little bit more energy here. All right, so first thing we're going to do, once the left foot is forward, activate the legs. So press your left foot down, press your right knee down, and then scissor the legs together so you can feel this energy kind of jolt right up into your low belly. It might give you enough stability that you could take hands off the floor. Now, again, if you have yoga blocks, you could be using them right here for the fingers, right? Really, really strong leg. Back toe is curled under. Now, can you push into the back toes and lift that back knee off the ground? Just a little play right here. We're just playing around, right? Play and creativity. Let's lower the knee softly back down. This is where that blanket comes in really handy, right? Right. Let's do that again. So I'm using my hands on the front knee for a little support. Let's push down and lift. And then lower back down. One more time, just like that. Push down and lift. So feel like this long line of energy from your right heel all the way up through the crown of the head. So this posture, this shape opens up the crown chakra, crown of the head. And then lower the back knee down and we'll switch sides again. So the left leg goes back and the right one comes forward. Find your proper placement. Starting with the hands on the floor, let's activate the legs. So pushing your right foot down, your left knee down, and then scissor them together. As you scissor them together, we feel that energy, that bolt of it right up into the low belly, right into the second chakra. All right, curl the back toes under and press down to lift. And then lower the knee back down. Twice more, just with the lift. Lift up, still hands supporting, right? Somewhere on the knee or blocks. Last time up. And then lower down, hands to the floor. Make your way back. Child's pose once more. Just give yourself that little bit of a break. Tune back in with the breath. Please come back to all fours. And come back to left foot stepping forward. So back to our Anjaneyasana and a little bit more play. We're going to add on one more step here. All right, hands to the floor. Activate the legs first. So left foot pushes down, left knee pushes down. All right, scissor the legs together so we get that action. Now push back or push down into the back toes, lift the knee. Maybe the hands come up to the front knee. And then arms reach alongside the body. So we'll call this arrow lunge, right? Long line of energy from your back heel to the crown of the head. Now you could certainly be doing this posture with the back knee still on the ground. Same idea, just reaching the arms, open the heart, lengthen all the way up through the crown of the head. Beautiful. If the knee is lifted, lower it back down and switch sides. So right foot forward, active, strong legs from Anjaneyasana. So hands on the floor. What if we took hands up overhead this time? All right, now lift the back knee. If you're lifting, remember that knee could stay on the ground and then sweep the arms back alongside the body. And maybe tune in to your mantra. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. And lower the back knee down and return. Right leg's going to come all the way back. Take a moment, just sit on the feet or even going back to child's pose. Good little action for the legs there. All right, let's come on up to stand, please. We'll do a few standing postures. So if you have anything on your mat, you can move that out of the way. The first thing that we'll do standing is goddess pose. So we take our feet out wide and turn your heels so the heels are in and toes are slightly turned out. Now, I don't want them turned all the way out. We're not doing plie and ballet, just slightly turned out. Hands on your hips, and then sink the hips back. So we're like coming into a wide leg squat. Some things to be aware of in your body, and I'll turn sideways so you can see the difference, is when we do this goddess squat, we're not taking the knees forward. That's kind of sending our energy that way. That's not what we want, right? So the butt goes back behind us, weight stays back in the heel. Engage the abdominals, so we take the arching out of the low back, lifting the heart. All right. So then adding on from there, once we've got the legs in position, take your arms out wide like a T and then cactus arms. Good. Breathe. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. Goddess pose is known as well for stimulating the sacral chakra, the second chakra, just helping to allow energy to flow more readily. Right, let's add in a little bit of core work from here. So keep the elbows lifted, the chest high, and then reach right elbow toward the right knee. No, it doesn't have to go all the way down. And then bring yourself back up. And then take that little crunch the other direction. Good, and up. And to the right, up and left. I know your legs are starting to feel it. Good, up, let's go one more time each direction. Make sure you're keeping that weight back in your heels, sinking down, but lifting the chest. And back to center, lower the arms and straighten the legs out. Keeping the legs nice and wide, turn your feet now to parallel. So parallel feet. And we'll take Trikonasana or triangle pose. So let's start with triangle to your right. So pick up your left heel, turn your left heel back so those toes are angled about 25 degrees, and then turn your right toes to go down the length of your mat. So in triangle pose, we keep two straight legs. Our anchor points for triangle are pinky toe side of the back foot and big toe mound of the front foot. All right, so anchor down there and then scissor the legs together so you can feel that bolt of energy right up into the second chakra, right up into the low belly. Beautiful. Left hand on your hip, right arm, reach it forward. And now we're going to reach the right arm forward as the right hip drops down and the left one lifts, keeping the right side waist really long here. Once you've gone about as far as you go, then just allow the arm to drop down. So maybe the fingertips graze the shin. You could have a block here for that. And then perhaps you can take the left arm and extend it up to the sky. And breathe. Opening up the chest, opening up the heart chakra. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up. Turn your feet back to parallel, and we'll just shift and take that to the other side. So your right heel is going to turn back and your left toes turn out. Anchoring down, pinky toe side of the right foot, big toe mound of the left foot. Scissor the legs together, feel that bolt of energy into the low belly. Right hand on the hip and left arm reaches forward. Reach forward, keep reaching, keep the left side of the waist really open. So the left hip drops down, the right one lifts up. All right, once you've gone as far as you can go, then just drop the arm down. Noticing I'm not dropping the body down. The body stays nice and long and tall, just the arm drops down. So left fingertips are reaching to the earth and your right fingertips reach to the sky. Opening the chest, breathing into the heart. and on inhale. Pull yourself all the way up. Turn your feet back to parallel. And depending on how much energy you have, either step or hop your feet together. Coming back to center. So next up, we'll take warrior three pose. So warrior three is a great balancing posture. Also going to have to use a lot of core for balancing. So for warrior three, I'm going to face the length of my mat, and I'll start by balancing first on the right leg. So right foot's going to stay firm. Take your left leg and just stretch it back behind you. So I've got the toes down as kind of like a little kickstand. All right. So get all of your weight standing now on the right foot, hands on the hips. I'm not going to round the back. Keep your back nice and flat. Can you start to hinge forward? Right, so just a little play in warrior three. So your warrior three might be right here, as long as we're lengthening the spine. So from the tailbone to the crown of the head is growing really long. All right, some of you might be able to lift the leg. If you can lift the leg, lift the leg. If you have a wall, a chair, use the things that you need to make your practice the best today. Okay, all right, let's bring ourselves all the way up, shake things out. I'm going to add one more thing to this. So Kali Mudra. So this mudra, we interlace everything except for the index fingers, right? So Kali Mudra, the symbolization here is that it's kind of like chopping through or breaking down all of those barriers, those blocks that are holding us back from expressing our creativity. All right, so that's kind of the symbolism there. And so we'll add that to our warrior three. All right, so let's go back to the side that we just kind of played on, right? Right foot down, left leg back, find your Kali Mudra, arms extend up. If the arms don't work well overhead, feel free to bring that Kali Mudra in a little bit closer to you. All right, so we're going to shift the weight up to the right leg, and then you decide where to go from here. You stay here maybe with the toes of the back foot still on the ground. Maybe you're able to lift that leg and breathe. Remind yourself of your intention, your mantra. I am perfect. I am whole. I am inherently creative. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Release the arms down, shake that leg out, and we'll switch sides. Standing balance on the left leg, right leg goes back. Right, decide where you're going to go from here. We're loading all of the weight out here on left leg. Find your Kali Mudra, temple pose. As you start to shift the weight forward, maybe the back leg floats up. And breathe. And then slowly releasing, bring yourself all the way up and shake those legs out. Great. Let's come on down. We'll do a couple of hip openers now. Open up the hips after those standing postures. So the first thing that I'd like to offer is pigeon pose. So two ways that you can do this, and we'll start with the right leg forward. So if you're doing the full variation, forward facing, the right knee comes forward, left leg extends back, and you can fold over from here. Or you can take this posture reclined on your back as well by just simply crossing right ankle over the left knee. And this is where I'm going to stay, right here reclined on my back. So you do you. If you are reclined on your back with the right ankle over the left knee, if you're not feeling enough stretch in that outer right hip, then you can pick up the left foot and interlace hands behind the thigh. At the end of your next exhale, please release. And let's go to the other side. So if you're reclined, just simply switch legs. If you're forward facing, you might shift back to down dog first or come to all fours. But now we'll have the left leg forward, left knee forward, or left leg on top. Two more breaths here. And then let's release, uncross. If you're forward facing, please come to lying down on your back. If you're already here on your back, we'll all meet here. So we'll take Supta Baddha Konasana or bound angle pose, reclined. So from your back with the feet on the floor, knees bent, walk your feet all the way together and then let the knees drop open wide. Once more, just as we started our very first posture, our opening, you could take the hands and let them rest on the low belly, just continuing to stay tuned in to Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Maybe still visualizing that spinning wheel of orange light, or just visualizing an orange hue. Allowing the hip flexors to release and soften. Two more deep breaths here. And then hands to the outer thighs. You can just assist the legs to come back up. Please extend the legs out long now for Shavasana. We'll take a brief Shavasana, and then I want to actually bring you back up to sit for closing. So just pause here, take a moment in Shavasana, arms resting by your sides, eyes softly close. And tune in. As the eyes close, notice what you notice right now. Taking in any physical sensation, emotional, mental. What do you notice when you tune in? Let's take a deeper breath in now. Just bringing yourself back from wherever you just were. And then a gentle wiggle of fingers and toes. Bend the knees. Slowly make your way up to sit, just finding a comfortable cross-legged position. And as we come to sit, we'll take lotus mudra or Padma mudra to close. So we start like Anjali mudra, palm against palm, but now keeping the pinky and the thumb connected, open the rest of the fingers. So almost like we're creating a funnel, right? Padma mudra symbolizes the 1,000-petaled lotus flower, basically a manifestation of our own blossoming and the deep personal work that allows us to grow into our fuller potential. So as you hold Padma mudra, lotus mudra, let your eyes soften and close. And I'd like to share a poem called The Artist's Poem. Give me the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the heart to feel, the creativity within me and without, in every bit of nature, every speck of air, every part of humanity, and all of this vast universe. I am content to be a creative force and source within and without. Let the energy flow from me and to me. Namaste. And thank you for sharing your practice today.